Public School, Pilani, one of the reputed schools in the region. He went on to complete BSc in Physics from Hindu College, University of Delhi in 2018, followed by a master's degree in Geography for Jawaharlal Nehru University. His strong academic foundation played a key role in shaping his UPSC preparation.
Sachin Raha is a promising IAS officer from 2024 batch of the Andhra Pradesh cadet. He belongs to Ladusur village in Jinjuhuk district, Rajasthan. At just 20 years of age, Sachin is currently serving as assistant collector in Anantapur. Known for his academic brilliance and discipline, Sachin cracked the UPSC exam on his fourth attempt, demonstrating resilience and commitment to public service.
I request Mr. Sachin Raha to join us on the stage to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Good morning, everybody. So, first, Chairman, Mr. Scientist, all of you, even the budding scientists who are sitting there. So, I would start. I am really enjoying it here today. I would say because I would start with a story. When I was a kid in my first standard, so in class they asked, "What do you want to become?" A lot of people are telling that they want to become doctors, engineers. I was the one who that time used to say that I want to become a scientist. But then fate had it, it could not materialize. So I would say that I am enjoying it because I failed in my effort to become a scientist. So I would like you to give your full efforts and full potential towards that you would become. And first I would start by congratulating Sarika for a wonderful performance. I know it's not easy. My wife is a Odissi dancer, so I know it's very difficult to dance like that. So I would start very basic things about science which intrigued me when I was a child, so that it intrigues you also and you also pursue it further. Because I really tried to pursue it. Right after 12th, I had gotten into NDA, National Defence Academy. So I became Air Force fighter pilot. Right after 12th standard, very young kid. I was 16 years old. And I left that because I wanted to pursue physics that time. So that was my imagination, that was my dream. But it could not happen. So I would tell you again a couple of stories that are very intriguing. So just like us, a very young child was walking on a street one day and he saw a puddle of water there. And while he was noticing that puddle of water, he saw that the image which is made in the puddle of water is inverted. It is not the exact image of the tree that is there, it is inverted image. And that is, he was very young, of your age only at that time. And that is the exact same child. By the age of 22, he had discovered an entire new field of mathematics. And he was Isaac Newton. So it starts when you are a kid, that you need to start asking why. That is the only question that you need to ask. Why this happened? Why is it so? Why did it not happen like that? So a lot of things that used to intrigue me, I'll still share a couple of those examples, is like most of you who are, I would say, in 6th or 7th standard must have read about atom. So atoms are there. So when I was a kid, it used to intrigue me that most of the mass, or in colloquial language, weight of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus of it. So 99.99% of its weight or mass is there in the nucleus. Can you imagine if an atom is of a football field size, what is the size of the nucleus? What? Approximately, it is the size of a small coin, you can say. It is that small. Small coin or a small stone, it is that small. So can you imagine in our entire body, 99.9% of the thing is completely empty. Everywhere. So that used to intrigue, that must intrigue you also, that then how we feel solid. Why is it not that my body is passing through this chair or this podium, this, any of this thing, how am I still standing if it is completely empty? So that's where the magic of science comes. So I would only request you to always question everything. Be curious and ask the question why. Why this happened? Why is it so? Why this did not happen? Even if we are lighting a lamp, you need to ask why is it that from nowhere some light emerged. There was nothing there a couple of seconds back, now there is a light. There is a fire, there is heat also there. Why is it happening? From where is it coming? So you need to just question those things. So there are particles which are colliding with each other. There are carbon particles, oxygen particles. Some or other particles which are colliding with each other. As the collision increases, heat is produced, and also as their shift changes, the light is emitted. From these questions only, someday you would realize that you discovered something new. So another fact that I would say, and circulating, is that most of the scientists who have received Nobel Prize or any other prizes, they might have received the Nobel Prize at a very later age of their life, but their discoveries have been done at a very young age. So by the age of 22, Newton had done most of his discovery. By the age of 26, Einstein had done most of his discoveries. He had discovered photoelectric effect, he had discovered special relativity. For photoelectric effect, for which he got Nobel Prize also. Heisenberg, very young. Everybody who is that big a name in science are very young, but very young when they discovered things. So it is only when you are young you have the capacity to be wrong. Otherwise, when you get old, you don't have the capacity to be wrong. For example, if I talk about myself, if I get wrong, I might get scolded from my seniors. Somebody might say something. And if the program goes wrong, somebody might say something to the teacher also. But only when you are a child, only when you are a student, you are studying in school or college, that you have complete freedom to be wrong. And by being wrong, there is nothing wrong. Because being wrong is just a step towards being right. So, for example, Edison used to say, and you all must know that quote. Edison used to say that I failed 1,000 times, but it is not that I failed 1,000 times. It is that I discovered that how to do it without these 1,000 times. So the only thing that you require is courage to be wrong and capacity to ask the question why. Why this happened? These are the only two things that you need to ask. So from why I would start a couple of stories again, I would say. For example, Newton discovered gravity. So Newton discovered that the apple falls, all these things happen. For over 2 centuries, nobody questioned it. But why is it so? Why does this happen? Why is it that it is falling the way that Newton is seeing? After that, somebody emerged, young Albert Einstein. He questioned it. That why is it so that things are falling, or two things which have weight or mass are getting attracted to each other? That's when he discovered that there is space and time. So you might not be aware of this at the moment, but Einstein says that there is a space and time which is there, and it is bending also. It is wherever I am moving my hand, it is bending towards the earth or not bending towards the earth. So the Einstein discovered it. And I would also tell you after that what happened. When Einstein did all of his theories, everything he did, his theory predicted in maths, it predicted that the universe is expanding. So it is a well-settled principle at this moment that we think that the universe is expanding, but at that time it was not. So his theory predicted that the universe is expanding. But he was of the opinion that no, I don't think that the universe can expand. So you can imagine Einstein, who received Nobel Prize, who did so many discoveries, all of that. He changed his theory. He added different constants in his general relativity theory, and he got himself to be wrong. And later it was proved by Hubble and everybody that actually the universe is expanding, and he got himself wrong. So what other idea I would tell tell with Sarvadinji is that now the universe is expanding. We all are aware of that. And the speed of universe expansion is also increasing. The scientists are aware of that, but the speed is increasing. So there might be some day that the universe is expanding with the speed greater than the speed of light. And that is a rare and a complete possibility because the law of light does not apply to the space-time curvature. There is a possibility that it might expand beyond the speed of light. So that will be the possibility where the universe will be there, we will never be able to see it. And we will never be able to know what is there beyond that. So it is only these thoughts, these ideas, these whys that you need to ask yourself. And that's only when you discover something new. And maybe someday you will also become a scientist, and maybe someday you will raise the name of India also to the higher stages where Nobel Prize is given. Because at this moment, whatever we may say, but we as a country, we actually need to work really hard. If we have this large population of 1.5 billion, then approximately every fifth Nobel Prize should be Indians. There should be Indian who should be receiving every fifth Nobel Prize with this large population. So it is that I tried, I failed, but it is the onus on young population now to work and to question and to ask those questions and move ahead and then win those Nobel Prizes and win. I would just tell you one more thing, is that I till date the most prized possession in my, I read a lot. I have a lot of books in my house. I read a lot. So monthly I complete 2 or 3 books, but not necessarily I read science books. But the most prized possession in my house and the most expensive books that I have are the final lectures. Very old they are. They are given very old. But that is one book that I have with thick covers, particular thick covers, and very smartly kept in my bookshelves. Because those are the books that you actually want to read and then feel, oh my God, actually the universe is like that. We never saw it in these lenses. So Richard Feynman used to say this to read that. You need to imagine things. For example, you need to imagine various things. For if tomorrow if an alien comes to Earth, how will he perceive Earth? You need to imagine these things also. How will he perceive Earth? They might not have a concept of day or night. They might not sleep also. How will you perceive that after 7 or 8 p.m. at night, the entire Earth is, nobody is moving, everybody is sleeping? You will be intrigued by that. You imagine what is going on, why they have to go off to sleep also. And you need to ask these questions. Charles Darwin was very young when he discovered evolution. And I would say that by far the theory of evolution, what changes it brought, the theory of evolution in one single subject, no theory brought till date. So Charles Darwin's theory of evolution has been the most revolutionary theory. And he was very young. So now, can you even imagine how eyes came out to be as eyes? If we came from chimpanzees, then we came if we go back, apes, then we go back, back. We came from amoeba, that we read in class, in 7th grade if we read about amoeba. Very single celled organism which is there. If we go back to amoeba, very single celled organisms also. We came from that to here. How did these eyes, which are so complex, the entire universe only we see through our eyes? So there is some light that was produced at some, there was a light that was produced at sun. That light got reflected to moon. From moon, that light is coming to this planet, and from that a fraction of light is entering our eye, and through that we are seeing the moon. So these are very intriguing thoughts which you need to yourself feel, and you need to ask those questions why. Then only we will be able to proceed further as a nation collectively in science. And it is also written in our constitution that we need to have scientific temperament. And what is scientific temperament? Scientific temperament can't be that everybody studies science. Scientific temperament is that you question things. That's it. That's the only thing. So if you start questioning things, then even the subjects which are not science starts becoming science. So that's why you will see it's not politics, it's political science. It's not social, it's social science. That's when these subjects also start becoming science. So you need to have that scientific temperament. Whenever you get out of the house, you need to think and question everything. Because when you are a child, you need to question everything. Even if some diktat is being given by parents or teachers, even if somebody is telling you something, I am standing here, I am telling you something, then you need to question. You need to question that also. Why do I need to question? What if I don't question? What will happen? Then also my life will go on continue. What will happen if I don't question? Whatever somebody is saying, you need to ask, why is that so? Why can't it be something else? So these are the things that you need to do to develop that scientific temperament. And this, everybody knows, if as a country collectively we develop that scientific temperament, then nobody can beat us. Because with this large population, if everybody has that scientific temperament where we are questioning wrong things, nobody can beat us. Today, even if I am part of the administration, if administration is doing something, if it is something wrong, then you should question it, that why is it not going on right, why it is wrong. If nobody questions, everything goes on and nothing happens in the country. So I would just end with this only, that the only two things I would say to kids is that always have the courage to belong and always have the capacity to question everything. Why is that? Why that happened? That's it. Thank you.